You're going to cut this pastry bag open about the width of your thumb or about an inch from the edge. Put a little bit of frosting down. I like to do kind of a C shape on my board. And then you're going to get your cake. But I like Alright, so we have a pink champagne cake, and turn it upside down. I like to turn my cakes upside down to be able to ice them nice. The bottom of the pan is going to be the nicest edge that you're going to get for your cake, which is why I like to build them bottom side up. You're going to put your dam in there. That's going to hold your filling in so that your nice raspberry filling, or whatever you so choose, doesn't leak out into the icing. You don't want a pink streak right in the middle of your cake where your icing was. So I cut that one open, a little bit less than the width of my thumb, I would say. Take it, squeeze that in. And we give you these pre-measured for your cake, so it should be almost perfect for what you're doing, for the size of the cake that you have. So, take your spatula, go around, and I mentioned this in the last video I did, but the angle of your spatula when you're moving icing needs to be curved a little bit, because if you just go flat side to side, you're just cutting through the top of the whatever it is you're trying to push around. So you need to have it curved a little bit, like a bulldozer blade has a little bit of a curve to it, so it can move with efficiency. Alright, let's take all that raspberry filling off, because we're going to need this to ice the cake. Alright, take the other layer of cake, and I'm going to put that guy on there. Crumbs, get out of here. Those crumbs, they will jump right into your icing if you are not careful. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do, crumb layer. I'm just going to go around and around, putting my icing in just haphazard squiggles. A little bit on top there. I'm going to use my offset spatula. Remember to move side to side. And this is a crumb layer. There is going to be crumbs in it, okay? That is why it is called a crumb layer. What this layer does is it locks all those crumbs down so that you can keep your icing on the nice layer clean and free of crumbs. So you want to get it all the way down to the bottom. I have trouble with that still to this day, getting the icing all the way down. Now you want all of the crumbs to be covered in a very, very thin coat. So if you have to, take some of the icing from one side, scrape it onto the other, and move your way around. Alright, so the smoother you make this layer, the easier it is going to be to ice this cake. Alright, I'm getting it a little bit off the board, which will also get all of those little crummies out of it. And all I'm doing is holding my spatula at a little bit of an angle and spinning the board so that it all kind of piles up like a snow shovel on your spatula. Scrape that off onto your bowl. And then I'm going to pull the edge in. So spatula is angled. Pull that edge in. Alright, and now we're going to let this puppy sit in the fridge for a few minutes to let it get cold, and then we're going to ice this cake. Alright, you little booger. Nice and cold. Crumbs are locked in there. Now we're going to put the nice layer of icing on here, okay? So, we're going to take this bag, and I guess I should do it towards the camera. Not exactly left-handed, but I don't think I'll mind. Squeeze and get you a nice layer of icing on there. Excuse me. Alright, so now there are some icing tips out there that have nice big wide holes on them, and those are fantastic. They're lovely. I just don't like to wash too many dishes. I'm a little lazy that way. So I just put it in a bag and I squeeze it all out. That's just what I do. Alright, when you're using your spatula to get the nice icing on, do not dig down too deep. Do not disturb the crumb layer. It is sleeping. Just leave it alone. It's like a really angry grizzly bear. If you touch it, it's gonna wake up and like ruin your whole day. Now, you got icing all over, but it's really haphazard. It's just on there, okay? So what you need to do is start evening it out. Now, you're not making it smooth yet. You are just evening it out. You're just using your bulldozer method with your spatula, going around. Now you're gonna work on the sides, bring the icing all the way down to the bottom. Don't be like Desiree. Get it all the way down and get it even all over the cake. You're just spreading it out. Don't worry about it being smooth yet, okay? Just spreading, 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 spreading. All right, got that. All the icing's up there. It looks good. It could be a wedding cake right now, right? I'm just kidding. All right, so we've got it on there. It is not even. It is not beautiful. It is not where it needs to be. So what we are going to do from here, take the extra icing off. Now I moved, there's this little piece of crummy icing that I took off of the crumb layer and I put it over here. Do not mix that in with the other icing that does not have crumbs. All right, so keep the crumbs where they need to be. Now this is a bowl scraper of sorts. We usually use just a plastic one to ice our cakes. They're a lot, I guess, lighter. This is probably what you have at home. Okay, this bowl scraper. This is actually used when I worked at Hardee's as the biscuit maker at 4 a.m. They use this to get all of the flour off of your table. So you scrape with this guy to get all the flour off before you go to clean it. And then this can actually be used as well to ice your cake. Okay, so here's the big trick. Now, if you have a really nice turntable, this is going to be very easy for you. If you don't have a turntable at all, this might be a little tricky for you. Okay, here's what's going to go on. You're going to take one hand around the back, the other hand around the back, and you're going to actually cross them over just a little bit. Touch down at like a 30-degree angle, okay? And then you're going to pull, and by the time your hands come back together, you have gone around that cake an entire time, okay? So now, cross over, and I am not taking much icing off anymore. I am just going around very gently, not taking much icing off. Now I'm smoothing, okay? Now I'm seeing a little bit of a little Wapagus angle here. There's a little bit less icing here and a little bit more icing here. And so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take this icing I just took off and I am going to add it over here. And then also there's a nice little thing that you can do to make this all easier for you. I didn't know if I'd have enough icing, but I do, because we always give you enough icing. And I'm going to build, it's kind of like putting a dam on the top of this one too, but it's right on the edge. So right there, straight on top, a little bit on the sides. And it's kind of like, I guess like a castle wall. You know how the walls are at the top of the castles where your knights hide behind? That's kind of what you need right around here. Around. Ah, yes, that is looking much better. All right, so go again, and I usually do this, 5-6 times. If it's a wedding cake, I might do it a little more until it's perfect. Birthday cakes are not quite as big of a deal, but you still want to go around until all of your bubbles are popped. I see a little bit of cake showing through there, so I'm just going to go through. And you want to add the frosting from bottom to top, not just where the cake is showing through, because chances are where the cake is showing through is just a little bit wider, just a hair, than the rest of the cake. And so you want it to have enough icing so that it covers entirely from top to bottom to account for the little bulge that you have there. Alright, last time. Okay, we'll probably do it one more time after we get the top done, but still. Alright, so the sides are done. Okay, see? Alright, now, a little bit tricky here. You're going to be about 30-degree angle. I know most of you don't remember what a 30-degree angle is, but so this is 90 to the cake, okay? This is 90. So half of that is 45 and a little lower is 30, okay? So you're going to take it, and this is a tricky move. You're going to actually come straight across and up in the middle, okay? Now you do not want to go boom and touch the cake and then pull, because you're going to have a rounded edge. What you need to do is just go whoosh and then pull up, okay? Kind of like an airplane taking off. So you're going to catch the edge and pull up in the middle. Now you do not want to pull all the way to the other side, because you will pull it off the other side. Okay. Go. Back and back and back. You know, it's kind of like an airplane taking off, and like this is your island, and if you accidentally run too long on the runway, you kind of fall into the ocean. So don't do that. Don't fall in the ocean. All right. Pull. We are almost done with the top. All right, pull one more time. And then I have this little line here. I'm not digging it. I'm just going to get that off. And then, as promised, I do want to go around the edge one more time, just to make sure we have a nice, clean, sharp edge as we ice this cake. All right, that was like 3 times. Sorry. Never said I was good at math. All right. Now, okay. Now I'm just going to fuss with it just a little bit more. And then to clean up the board, you take your bowl scraper. I guess I should do it this way. And go around. You see the icing I'm taking off of my board? Perfect. All right, guys. That's how to ice the cake.